Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I do not know if you remember, but the former president and prime minister of the Russian Federation, Dmitry Medvedev, about 3 weeks ago stated that if Ukraine dares to hit anything in Crimea, including the Kerch bridge, the Ukrainians will have no place or nowhere to hide, because Russia will destroy them and they will be totally annihilated, something like that. Well, if you remember, about a week ago, it was a ceremony, or it was planned a ceremony in Crimea. I think it was the naval day or something like this of the Russian Federation. And in Crimea, a drone hit a governmental building, military office building, killing a few people, and they claim it was the Ukrainians. I don't see Russians doing anything about it, but now there's an explosion, some explosions at a military base in Crimea, and they're trying to figure out who is responsible. Now, if after this we don't see anything, if they find it was the Ukrainian army, if the Russians don't do anything, or then again, it's going to be like with China and Taiwan threats. So let's go here with Pelosi's landing in Taiwan, to be more precise. This article comes from Reuters, and it says, blast heard near Russian airbase in Crimea, emergency services rush in. This is from August 9th, 2022. And I found the same article, or at least the same title in Ukrainska Pravda, the same date, August 9. Explosions occur at military airbase in occupied Crimea. And it says that on August 9 in the afternoon, explosions occurred at a military airbase in Novofedorivka in the Sakhi district of Russian-occupied Crimea. Source: Crimean residents in comments to Ukrainska Pravda, Crimea informed news agency. Locals told Ukrainska Pravda that, I'm quoting, explosions are still occurring, and it is likely that storehouses were hit. And people on social media report that there have been more than 10 explosions to date, 20 kilometers from Novofedorivka. And I'm quoting, window glass is trembling and the signaling is going off. So more than 10 explosions. The press services of the Chief Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine refused to comment on the information. Now, you can refuse because you don't want to be blunt about it, because maybe you're afraid to say, yeah, it was me. On the other hand, you refuse because, as I always said, unknown is more frightening than known danger. So that's why you're afraid of the dark, because you can't see anything and you imagine stuff. Anything is possible in your imagination. So it's dark, you say, what's out there? But if you see over there a silhouette, you already know it's a something. You narrow it down. All your things that you are afraid of are, narrow it to a silhouette moving over there. But if there's nothing and you don't see anything, it's the silhouette and could be everything else. So the whole package is there. So same here. If I don't comment about it, it could be me. Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was someone else. So you see how many questions are over there. So, but on the other hand, you can also say, yeah, it was me, just a bravado to say, yeah, even if it wasn't, just to, the propaganda can work where, see, it was us, we destroyed, we attacked them. But on the other hand, the Russians are going to hit you hard, as they said, if you say it's you. So it's kind of like, you take a chance. Yeah, it was me, I'm strong. Okay, you're strong, now we're going to hit you with some other weapons now, if you're that strong. But keeping quiet is always the best, I think, because you can change your mind on your statements that you're going to make in the future, according to how the wind blows. But if you say something now and then you change your statements, you lose this and that. Or if you stay the course of your statements, initial statements, then what happens? Maybe that was not what you exactly wanted, seeing the consequences coming towards you. So, the press services of the Chief Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine refused to comment on this information. The occupiers have officially confirmed the fact that a few explosions occurred in Novofedorivka, but did not specify any details. Evidently, if they would say, yes, it was the Ukrainians, they would look very weak. Very weak. So it's double sword here. If you say, yes, it was the Ukrainians that give me, like a free pass to go and hit them with everything I got. See, I told you, we warned you, you didn't listen, whatever. Even though I don't see why, as I said before in many of my videos, why the Ukrainians are not allowed to hit Crimea, not allowed to hit the Russian Federation's territory. But the Russians are allowed to hit the Ukrainian territory. I mean, what is this? It is a controlled war. That's what it is. And the controlled war is done by the Russians with the Americans. And these guys are just, this is the revolver right here. You put a revolver right here. Now, who's picking the revolver to use it? That's the person who controls the war and chooses to use it. Not the revolver. Revolver is right there. If you leave it there, it's going to get rusty and, in time, blown by the wind. It's no danger being over there. Nothing changed. The person, the decision to pick it up and use it in that for what is meant, then you have this, and then the result. So the same here. It's between the Russians and the Americans, not the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are the pistol, the revolver. They're not the persons using the revolver. Yeah, they're given weapons and they have personnel. That's this right here on the table. So that's why the Russians, I don't know if they are okay saying, yeah, it was the Ukrainians. Because if they said it was Ukrainians, how did they hit you 10 times? Your mighty S-400, S-500, S-1000, how about that? Oh, they didn't work? What did the Ukrainians use? You create panic in your own country. People say, look at these guys hit 10 times, not one time, 10. Or more than 10, could be 11, could be 19. But otherwise they would say almost 20, if you're closer to that, I'm assuming. I mean, that would be normally mathematically, but you never know with these kids. Whatever, I don't think they even know what that means. But nevertheless, here it is. They would not say that because I think they're afraid to, they're still assessing to see, okay, what are we going to say now? Sergei Aksynovov, the so-called head of Crimea, reported that he went to the site of the incident and is confirming the details, which are preliminary reports indicate that the explosions in Crimea have not caused any fatalities or casualties among tourists. To the Russian Association of the Tourism Operation, according to the Russian Association of Tourism Operators, planes used to attack the south of Ukraine with missiles usually take off from this airbase. So it says on July 31st, this is background, the Chief Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine stated that the residents of Crimea think that there is a real threat that the peninsula will become another war zone. And why not? If you can, it's war. Did you hear this? They're very concerned with the tourists now in Crimea. I know Crimea is a big spot, hot spot for tourists, but no fatalities among the tourists. What about the other guy? How can it be about the tourists? Is that military bases next to a beach, a nudist beach or something? So, what happened? I think that 10 explosions are not a, someone just use a match and an accident. But we'll find out, and I hope we'll find out. And if it was the Ukrainians, then what? The Russians are going to do what the Chinese said they will do. Our military will not stay idle, will not sit idle. Yeah, it did. It just went around Taiwan a few times and created some waves for the guys to go surfing in Taiwan. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.